Welcome to Smack Talk 2022. Ooh, those volumes are a bit high. Let's turn it down a bit. Welcome to Smack Talk 2022. It's your boy Sibs. Basically doing his first live podcast. And we got a few setups that we're trying to mess with at the moment. We're trying to do shoot in 4K. But at the same time too, we're trying to bring you a studio quality live product that you, the listener and the viewer, that's high quality, and it is stuff that you can look at and share and have smack talks with your wider circle. So excuse me, basically what we're trying to do is we're trying to give you a platform that works with some of the common misconceptions that society is putting. We're going to throw a lot of religion into it. I'm Christian. I come from a Christian background. Excuse me. And I want to talk about some of the things that is concerning people socially. Like recently, we've seen in the media, we've got the abortion laws. People are using that as a platform for pro-choice. Now, I personally cannot comment on women's perspective on abortion, but I can comment on being pro-choice. Now, this is probably unpopular to many people, but being pro-choice means that there is a certain level of acceptance. Meaning that if I am pro-choice, no matter what the choice is, if I'm pro-choice, that means that I have the right to choose whatever I want for myself, but I have also got to accept that you have the ability to choose whatever it is. For instance, I'll give you an example. Over lockdown, we had the vaccine mandates, and that caused a lot of strife, meaning because people want to understand the science behind taking the vaccine. Now, personally, I have a medical history. I've suffered 2 heart attacks, and so for me, heart disease does run in my family, and I have heart disease as well. So for me, health-wise, it makes it a no-brainer for me because I want to keep myself secure. Now with COVID, I recently had COVID up until a couple of days ago, and it wreaked havoc on my body. But I also needed to make sure that I kept myself quite healthy because I also wanted to I didn't want to put my family at risk. Now my dad's receiving treatment now, so I didn't want his immunity system to be affected. However, whether I am pro-choice in vaccine or vaccine mandated, there is an opportunity to be pro-choice, and there is also something called common law. Now, common law is something passed through by legislation, and it is by a unilateral. If you live in a democracy, to pass a law, you have to it goes through a certain amended. It goes through a focus. A process. It's not just pass just because that's the law that makes shit okay. In saying that, I am pro-choice, so I mean whatever my body dictates is whatever I choose to. Now, I come from a fairly strong faith background, and it is a part of my belief where you deny self in order to uplift others. In saying that, if you are anti-vax or if you are pro-choice, anything else, I have to accept that your choice is going to be different from mine, but I can't impose that my choice is right. This is what we're seeing now with the abortion law that's being passed by government in America. What that is doing is, now I can't speak for the legislative process of America. What I can speak for, though, is that regardless of whether you're pro-choice or not, because you live in a democracy, that means that you have the right to believe whatever you want to believe. And how that dictates in your right for pro-choice is how you go and how you vote. Because people have now passed a law, obviously being pro-abortion or against or like passing abortion being illegal, I feel like what we're doing now is we're making a mockery of, not one, democracy, but two, we're painting it out to be some archaic form of, now it's not me being misogynistic, all right? It's not me being male. Ladies, you have the right to do whatever you choose. Now, there is some instances where, you know, people fall pregnant from rape and sexual abuse and stuff like that. I'm not saying you don't have to. What I'm saying is that you can't piggyback on the fact that if you're pro-choice at whatever your body wants, like whatever you choose to do to your body, you have to accept that there's another side of the coin. And I feel like we don't do that. Like labeling people, we throw that word pro-choice out far too often. What we don't do, though, is we don't have the flip side of the coin conversation, where we kind of have to accept that law is law. If you want to change law, then you protest. Not by protesting, you protest because of freedom of speech. You protest peacefully. You also do it in a form of petition, meaning that you rally support in order to pass bills in your parliament. That's a democracy. Democracy is run by the people. The very idiots that you say are passing laws are the very idiots that you voted for. So you kind of are taking the piss, one, out of democracy, and two, out of the choice that you've passed. Now, people in government aren't perfect. Every government isn't perfect. This government, this Labour government, is far from perfect. I'm not pro-Labour, but what I am is I'm wanting to understand that raising an awareness for being pro-choice, like you could choose to wear a wig and be like, wigs are for this and this is my identity, I identify wigs and whatever it is, right? I can't now come and, because I have a set of hair, come to you and then say that wigs are I think that your choice is wrong, and furthermore I think that whatever you choose is rubbish, contrary to, like, to be honest, who the heck cares about what I think is right or wrong? You want to wear a wig, that's your choice, because you're pro-choice. So I hope I'm making sense, man, and I do want to open it up because I feel like we take our democracy for granted. I mean, if you want to make a difference, people, do it in the polling booth. Use your fucking right to vote. Don't sit there on the couch watching these idiots talk shit on television and then be like, oh, they're doing this and they're doing that. No, no, no. Do something about it. You want to do something about it? Get into politics, or raise awareness, or form a focus group, or have a platform where you can talk whatever shit you want to talk. And if people disagree with it, they can jump on and have a chat and have a conversation about it. But don't keyboard warrior it, or don't jump on just because you want to have your say. And everyone has a right to an opinion. Whether your opinion is horseshit or not doesn't make it a difference. Like, your opinion doesn't make it right. It's just opinion. Whether it's factual based, whether it's science based, whether whatever it is. Now, if we all share the same opinion, then we all share the same moral belief or core belief, which is fine. But if we don't, acceptance dictates. Like, I take religion, for example. I have a belief. What I believe is to be true. However, if you believe that what you believe is true, I now can't force you to see my belief. What I can do is, through the process of acceptance, I can form a bridge to, one, understand where you come from, and two, to show you and give you understanding of my belief. That's coexistence. I believe too many times, especially in society, if we have a difference in opinion, we don't use coexistence and acceptance to form unity. What we use is, we allow our opinion to be highly opinionated, and we form differences. And having differences in society is a good thing. It means that we all don't think the same. We're not brainwashed. But if I'm going to shit on you for your choice, excuse my language, but if I'm gonna dog you for your choice, then I now need to think really hard about, one, do I accept you for who you are? And two, is your point of difference something that I can grab onto and I can bridge a gap to try and understand? And even if I don't understand, the fact that I'm still building a bridge so that you can actually bring your point across to me, means that what I'm willing to do is I'm willing to hear you. I feel like we don't make that platform available for people. People have whatever they feel, and they're dictated to by feelings. And there's nothing wrong with feelings. I'm not saying disregard feelings. I feel like too many times whatever you feel is right is how you live. And I see that. I see weak people making weak choices just based on feelings. And what I'm not prepared to say is that just because of it's the government's fault, or I'm not prepared to play the blame game. And I feel like too many times, just because a situation is out of our control, we play the blame game. I can easily just sit there and be like, oh, because I'm a dude of color, or because I'm not white, or because I didn't grow up in New Zealand. No, I have the same opportunities as anyone here. Meaning I also have the same right to believe what I believe. Now, is my belief based on culture? Yes, it is. Is my belief based on family? Yes, it is. Is it based on my spirituality? Yes, it is. Does that differ to people? Yes, it does. But does that mean I can't accept you for your difference in opinion or your difference in belief? No, it doesn't. Point I'm trying to make is that we spend too much time focusing on the differences and not enough time for honoring it. And I feel for women all across the world. I don't want them to feel persecuted, and it feels like women are being persecuted by the law. I don't feel like the very laws that should protect women is the laws that hurt women. I don't believe in that. What I do believe, though, is that there should be an opportunity for women to have their say and it be reflected in law, because we're no longer in the 18th century or 17th century where women belong in the kitchen. We're no longer there. That was the applause, by the way. And we're no longer in same-sex or gender equality is such a hot topic right now. I believe that what we do is we focus on the difference and we don't focus on the person. Like, we don't focus. I just pressed the button for bullshit reason. Yeah. So I'm interested to hear what people's thoughts are. Like, in no way is the law perfect. And in no way is the law of whatever country. Like, now, living in a Western culture, there's difference, the right of a woman is fairly different depending on the state that she lives in. For instance, there is a country called Mozambique where women are persecuted for being women. They are viciously raped and brutalized for being women. In fact, one of the preachers that Heidi Baker, she runs a ministry in Mozambique or one of those countries where she has a women's refuge. Are we in the Western world? Has our laws given us the luxury of choice? Like, have we abused pro-choice? Do we understand that pro-choice actually came from people actually sacrificing for democracy? Do we even know what sacrificing is these days? Do we think just because we pay bills and just because we pay mortgages and just because we achieve, do we think that that's sacrificing? Or do we not understand that our freedom came at a cost? It came at a cost because of World War II veterans, people who sacrificed their freedom to give to others. Do we? And because we are libertarians, meaning because we are liberal in our thinking, does my voice or does my opinion, like, I know what my opinion and my voice means, does that not mean that I have the ability to sacrifice that ability to be heard in that moment? Can I not sacrifice it to hear a difference in opinion? This all might just be rambling, but I believe, like, coming out of COVID, post-COVID, this is 3 years out, almost 3 years, and we are in no way in a better place as a world. Shit's jumping off left, right, and center. There's wars going off left, right, and center, and we don't have any solution to it. Like, the population's growing rapidly. Do we have the same resources for it? Not necessarily. I mean, if you listen to the media and what they say about like global warming and shit like that there. But we as humanity, as the human race, we're getting more and more violent. I watched a documentary on YouTube, and there was a Navy SEAL, and he was on Joe Rogan actually, because I was trying to do some, just brush up on some podcasting, and this guy was a young Marine. He's about 23 or 24 years old, and he said that he was talking about what he did to survive. So how he murdered a guy with a rock because a guy ambushed him and he killed him. And it was only after, he says every day he has a different understanding of what that event was, because that event, like if any of you commit like a random act of violence or crime or anything of that sort, it changes you and you start thinking in hindsight. And he said that every day his ideology changes to what that is, and he starts understanding what it could be guilt. He could feel guilty for taking a life, but he's not. It's not guilt per se, because he says that that guy was the enemy. He believed that guy was the enemy. He was a Taliban insurgent, and he believed that his job was to basically destroy Taliban. However, he saw the guy and he was like, that guy probably had a wife and kids, a family. He probably believed in his own cause, and he probably thought he was doing what was right. The key that I'm trying to point out is that just because we have an opinion doesn't mean that it is right. In order for good to prevail in this world, we're going to have to come to a form of resolution where we're going to actually have to learn to let shit go. I'm not trying to pick on females. I'm not trying to pick on color, creed, or anything. Like, I am not trying to diminish or undermine the struggles of today's world. What I'm trying to put out is that if we only focus on the differences and the negative of, we're never going to learn to live in harmony and coexist. And democracy is coexisting. Has COVID diminished our reasoning for coexistence? Or have we been too isolated in our minds, in our thoughts, in our feelings? Have we been too isolated that we don't have the ability to now coexist? There's a chemical that's released in your brain called oxytocin. And oxytocin is the chemical of connection. How connected are you in your relationships? I'd like to, over the next few weeks, start looking at that in depth. I got a guy from the UK, he's a neuroscientist named TJ, who's going to be jumping on. Great guy, fantastic guy. And he breaks down dopamine, serotonin, oxytocin. But oxytocin for me is the ability to connect. For years I've been, my relationships have either been one, out of need, or two, out of what I can get. And I've had to strip that over the last few years. I've had to like, it was all addiction based, basically. And I've had to strip that away. And I had to look at how I connect with people and what do I really want of people. And I was talking on that with Joshua on our live, and all I want is authenticity. I just want to be myself and exist and know that I'm living my life and carving my path that God put me on this earth for. Now, you don't have to believe in God, you don't have to, but you do have a purpose and a destiny about you, and how you fulfill that, how you achieve that is up to you. You can bust your ass from now until you die. You can build a legacy, whatever you choose, whatever life you choose to live. I believe that we all have a purpose and a destiny. And being your authentic self means I also have to embrace the dark part, the dark side of what my personality is. But I also have to embrace what's good about me. Because if I only embrace what's negative about me, I'll always be fault-based and wanting to try. I need to change. And yes, when you grow, you do change. If you're growing, you change. You change automatically because you see the need to change, because you want to be better each and every day. When you have that mindset, that growth mindset, every day you challenge yourself to be a 1% better. And it's not easy growth. It's hard. It's not easy coexisting. It's tough. It's not easy having relationships. It takes work. It takes effort. But do we hide behind the mask of what we think we are? And are we too afraid to show who we really are? And do we just bullshit our way through it and call it pro-choice? If I was pro-choice, and I am pro-choice, by the way, I would challenge everything that's put before me in the Bible. Do I question it? Yes, I do. Does that make me any less of a believer? No, it doesn't. Because I have a frame of reference to work from. I am allowed to ask questions about my existence. But I'm also allowed to spiritually get those answers. Because it's above me. It's not something that I can comprehend. It's my spiritual journey, and it's that path of spiritual enlightenment. I want to encourage you all to pursue that. Pursue truth in every form of your life. There are people that go through their whole life lying to themselves that this is how life should be. And they control every aspect of their life. That's not living. There's no room to make mistakes in your life. But also you mask the true worth of who you are. And you are truly valuable to this world. All 7 billion of us. We each play a part in each other's lives because we are connected. We are a connected part of humanity. There's a difference between us and animals. There will never be an existence of 7 billion people all in one accord. Being in one accord is so important. It means that I can go to the dairy, and even though I don't speak the same language as the person that serves me, I can be in one accord with him or her. Or I can be in one accord with my Uber Eats driver. Or I can be in one accord with my dentist, or whatever facet it is. The point I'm trying to make is that just because we are different in our thinking and belief, does that make it wrong for me to want to connect with you? Relationships require a bridge. It also requires trust. Not just trust in the other person and the other person's going to break your trust. Trust in yourself. What are we built for? Are we built to have differences? Our history is shaped on war. War is a difference in democracy is based on war. Our laws have been based on war. Is post-COVID, are we going to be remembered for just our differences? Or are we going to be remembered for when all hope failed, we never lost our hope in each other? These are just my thoughts for the evening. Smack Talk 2022 is a platform for people, not just to shit talk, but to talk about the real issues. I did this because I just wanted to give my new gear a go. But the more I think about it, the more I understand that I know nothing about this world, and it excites me. I know a little bit about myself, and it excites me. I'm willing to learn a whole lot more about those that are around me. But I never want to be in a place where I put my opinion above the people or the surroundings that I am in. I want to know myself so well, and I want to be grounded in who I am so, it must be so ironclad that I can go anywhere and not be shaped by anything. Meaning I'm not dictated to by the social circles that I run in, or what I see on Instagram, or that no one likes what I put up. I must have such a huge driving force in me that my correction should always be true north. What is your connection? What is your true north? And what have you, coming out of COVID, what have you found that has worked for you? I've seen relationships crumble. I've seen marriages take a strain. I've seen job losses. I've seen death. I've lost family members because of it. And I'm not here to process my grief. I'm here to say that there is a lot going on in the world, but the world needs all of us, because we have the solutions to the world's problems. You're listening to the ramblings of Sims. Sorry for the out there thoughts, but I'm not sorry. This is my podcast. You chose to listen. Smack Talk 2022. Keep the smack talking. Don't be a hater. If you're being a hater, jump on here and have a hater chat with me. Love you all. Good night.